Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 321. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Mezco Toys, Marvel Comics, 112 Collective, PX Exclusive, Stealth Armor Iron Man action figure. This Mezco Stealth Iron Man features a sculpted 1/12 body specifically created for Iron Man and is designed with real metal parts. His articulated visor can be worn closed or open to reveal Tony Stark's face. This 1/12 scale action figure has his signature arc reactor, the source of Iron Man's power, that has a light up feature. This PX exclusive release of the Stealth Iron Man comes with a complete array of effects. Box includes Iron Man figure, 2 repulsor blast effects, chest beam, 4 booster effects, 3 pair of interchangeable hands, 2 power pods, wrist rocket, and display stand with posing post. Released by Mezco Toys. Now, the comic of the day is The Invincible Iron Man, Volume 5, Issue Number 1, with a cover date of February 2023, with story by Jerry Dugan, art by Juan Frigeri, and cover by Kyle New. This issue is titled The Autobiography of Tony Stark, Chapter 1. In his narration, Tony Stark drafts up his autobiography. He goes over his corporate success, his vices, the places where he lived, and how he's starting to feel his age. And he's decided to write his autobiography. He recalls how he bankrupted himself buying up Source Control's weapons catalog, and his attendance at the Hellfire Gala, where he butted heads with Fei Long. As Tony is tinkering with his Iron Man armor Model 70 in the laboratory of his brownstone, the arc reactor generator suddenly glimmers red and explodes, blowing up the building. Tony survives and is hospitalized, but a neighbor of his has died. At the hospital, Tony is visited by Jim Rhodes, Riri Williams, and Captain America. They couldn't find anything wrong with the arc reactor, but Tony suspects he was sabotaged. After being discharged, Tony pays off the funeral of his neighbor, Marielle Marcus, and swears to avenge her. Later, Tony meets up with She-Hulk to settle the legal fallout of the incident. People are suing Tony for damages from the explosion, including people who weren't in the city that day. Tony's on edge and decides to pay them all off, even if it means further sinking his bank account. Tony settles into the Bronson's Cab Depot in Jersey City, where he rests and makes repairs to the Model 70, changing its faceplate as well. He suits up and takes the suit for a ride, ordering Boss to pull up real estate listings to peruse. As he flies above Midtown Manhattan, Iron Man is suddenly attacked by an armored individual, and he realizes that the person behind his troubles must be somebody new. The attacker professes to be only a messenger, but doesn't appear to be involved in the brownstone's explosion since he assumes Tony caused it. They trade blows, and the messenger throws Stark into a new helicopter. Iron Man catches the helicopter, he hits the messenger with its rotors, and then restrains him with the sludge deployed from his armor. After taking the helicopter to safety, much to the ingratitude of its passengers, Iron Man drop-kicks the messenger into the ground. The messenger threatens to kill Riri and insinuates Tony had an improper relationship with her. In retaliation, Stark crushes the messenger's arm, but it breaks in such a way it leads Tony to believe he's an unmanned drone. As he prepares to blast the messenger to pieces with a group of bystanders behind watching, Tony gets a hunch and decides to instead spray his attacker's faceplate with liquid nitrogen to tear it off. Stark cracks it open to see a man sedated and intubated inside. His armor's facial recognition identifies him as Elliot Bustiano, the owner of a messenger service reported kidnapped 2 days prior. Boss warns Tony the padding in the suit is actually plastic explosives. Iron Man rushes to remove Bustiano from the armor seconds before it explodes, and takes him to a hospital. Stark realizes he was set up to kill Bustiano. And a TV nearby Tony notices how the stock prices of Stark Unlimited keep plummeting. Tony winds down at the ruins of his brownstone with Chinese food and root beer. Now he's sure that somebody is targeting him. A pedestrian calls him out for littering, but Tony flies away, pointing out that the ruins will be cleaned up and sold off the next day. Tony next visits a church to join an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, where he drinks coffee. He leaves a few minutes early in a daze. He next leaves a bar, McAlexander's Pub, after waking up in the men's restroom, unsure of how he got there. As he walks down the street, Tony trips on a branch. He gets up and staggers into a light pole. Two bystanders recognize him and film him as Tony throws up on the street. He falls into a heap of trash and faintly calls out for help as two other bystanders surround him. Geek Fact: like most comic books released in December of 2022, this comic book opens with an illustrated tribute to Stan Lee for the 100th anniversary of his birthday, December 28, 1922. The piece is done by Humberto Ramos. Stan is surrounded by a crowd of characters he co-created, which includes Iron Man. Bonus Geek Fact: Tony recalls spending his fortune buying up an assortment of dangerous weapons. This happens in Iron Man, Volume 6, issue number 23. He mentions they're in a secured location. It's actually a warehouse in Long Island. Another bonus geek fact: in his narration, he revisits numerous places he's lived. The Avengers Mansion, that became a themed hotel, first mentioned in Uncanny Avengers, Volume 3, issue number 6, from May 2016. His Malibu Mansion retreat, that was either severely damaged or destroyed by Berserker 7 when they fought in Iron Man, issue number 292, from May of 1993. He mentions he doesn't own the Columbus Circle Avengers Tower anymore either. He sold it off in All New, All Different Avengers, issue number 1, from January of 2016. He also mentions not owning the Stark Unlimited headquarters anymore. He bequeathed it to Andy Bang in Iron Man 2020, Volume 2, issue number 6, from October of 2020. So poor Tony really is homeless. And final geek fact: the Stealth Armor, or Armor Model 7, was created to focus on stealth after Tony was detected approaching Roxxon Space Station using the space armor. The Stealth Armor, or Model 7's first appearance, was in Iron Man, issue number 152, with the cover date of November 1981. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is Cat Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.